Lieutenant Alex Reed died on a Tuesday. The Meridian warship had caught her scout vessel by surprise at the edge of the Ceres asteroid belt. The aliens had been hunting humans across the solar system for 3 years now, ever since first contact, had gone catastrophically wrong. Earth's military was outmatched in almost every way, except for the tenacity of its soldiers. Alex's final transmission to Earth Command was simple. "They've found me. Taking as many with me as I can." She detonated her ship's reactor while docked with the Meridian vessel, destroying both crafts and killing 17 of their warriors, including a high-ranking commander. By Meridian standards, it was an incomprehensible act. Their species had evolved as hive-minded pack hunters with an innate fear of individual death. Suicide was literally unthinkable in their psychology, yet Alex had done it without hesitation. 2 days later, in a secure facility beneath the Martian colony, General Thomas Moore watched as scientists worked feverishly around a regeneration pod. Project Phoenix had been mankind's most closely guarded secret, the ability to capture and preserve human consciousness at the moment of death, then rebuild the body cell by cell. "Is she ready?" Moore asked, his weathered face illuminated by the pod's blue glow. Dr. Eliza Holt nodded, her eyes never leaving the monitors. "Physically, yes. But we've never done this with someone who died so violently. The trauma might have affected the cognitive imprint." "We need her, Doctor," Moore said flatly. "She's the only one who's been aboard their command ship and survived long enough to map their systems." "Survived isn't exactly the right word," Dr. Holt muttered. The pod hissed open, releasing clouds of vapor. Alex Reed sat up slowly, her new body identical to her old one down to the small scar above her right eyebrow. A childhood injury they'd replicated for psychological continuity. She blinked, disoriented but alert. Her first words chilled everyone in the room. "I remember everything," she said. "I remember dying." Moore stepped forward. "Lieutenant Reed, welcome back." Alex's eyes focused on him with unnerving intensity. "How long?" 48 hours. She nodded, processing this. "The Meridians. I saw things when I was aboard their ship, things we can use." "That's exactly why we brought you back," Moore explained. "You're going back out there." Alex swung her legs over the edge of the pod, testing her new muscles. "With all due respect, sir, they killed me once already." Moore smiled grimly. "That's the point, Lieutenant. They think you're dead, and we've made some improvements this time around." Part 2. The Meridian High Command Vessel. Inevitable dominance hovered at the edge of Jupiter's orbit. Inside its cavernous war chamber, Fleet Commander Rix studied tactical displays with all 4 of his eyes narrowed in concentration. "Another human transport destroyed," reported his second-in-command. "No survivors." Rix made a clicking sound with his mandibles, the Meridian equivalent of a frustrated sigh. "These humans are problematic. 3 of our hunter ships damaged this cycle alone." "They fight even when victory is impossible," the second observed. "It defies rational behavior." "It defies survival instinct," Rix corrected. "Their willingness to sacrifice themselves is unsettling." Alarms suddenly blared throughout the chamber. A junior officer rushed to the command platform. "Unidentified craft approaching, using one of our stealth protocols." Rix's exoskeleton stiffened. "Impossible. How could they?" The view screen activated, showing a small ship maneuvering with impossible precision through their defensive grid. More disturbing was the pilot visible through the craft's viewport. A human female with short brown hair and a face that had been flagged in their recognition systems. "That's the human who self-terminated at Ceres," the second whispered. "It cannot be the same individual." "Patch me through," Rix ordered, mandibles clicking rapidly. When the communication channel opened, he spoke in the harsh staccato of translated Meridian. "Human craft, you are entering restricted space. Identify yourself." The human's face appeared on screen and the bridge fell silent. It was unmistakably the same one their records showed detonating herself at Ceres. She smiled, a human expression that Meridian psychology interpreted as a predatory display. "Hello, Commander Rix," Alex said. "Surprised to see me?" Rix's exoskeleton rattled, a sign of extreme distress. "You are dead," Our records confirm this. I got better, Alex replied. Thought I'd stop by and finish our conversation. Impossible. Capture that vessel immediately, Rix commanded. Alex's ship suddenly accelerated, evading tractor beams with movements no human pilot should have been capable of. The Meridians watched in mounting horror as she systematically disabled their perimeter defenses one by one. Her neural responses are too fast, the tactical officer reported. She's anticipating our patterns before we execute them. On screen, Alex's smile widened. I've been upgraded since we last met, Commander. You should see what else I can do now. Project Phoenix wasn't just about resurrection. While rebuilding Alex's body, Dr. Holt had incorporated experimental nanotech enhancements, synthetic muscle fibers, accelerated neural pathways, and a direct neural interface with her ship's systems. Alex felt the difference with every movement. Her reaction time had tripled. Her strength had quadrupled. Most importantly, the ship responded to her thoughts as if it were an extension of her own body. They're deploying fighter drones, she subvocalized to her ship's AI. Pattern suggests standard Meridian containment protocol. Confirmed, the AI responded directly into her mind. Evasive sequence prepared. As 20 Meridian fighters converged on her position, Alex closed her eyes. In her mind, she could see them all. Their trajectories, weapon systems, vulnerabilities. She didn't pilot her ship so much as dance with it, weaving through the Meridian formation with impossible grace. One by one, the fighters exploded or spun out of control. Alex targeted their propulsion systems rather than destroying them outright. She wanted witnesses. Inside the Meridian command ship, panic was spreading. Rix watched as his elite fighters were systematically disabled by a single human craft. What is that human? His second demanded. Some kind of synthetic? Worse, Rix replied. It's still the same human. But how can she be alive? The tactical officer interrupted. Commander, the human craft is transmitting a signal to all Meridian frequencies. It's accessing our databases. On screen, Alex's face appeared again. I'm downloading your combat protocols, Commander. Hope you don't mind. Cut all external connections, Rick shouted. Too late, Alex replied. I already have what I need. And now, a message for your hive queen. The Meridians froze. Their hive, Queen's existence was their most closely guarded secret. The central consciousness that linked all Meridian minds together. Tell her that humans don't stay dead, Alex continued. Tell her that I'm just the first. We're coming for our worlds, and next time I'm bringing friends. Her ship suddenly accelerated to impossible speed, vanishing into Jupiter's swirling clouds before they could reacquire a lock. Rix's mandibles trembled. For the first time in Meridian history, a battle commander experienced an emotion that had no equivalent in their language. The closest translation would be personal, existential terror. The operation was a complete success, General Moore announced to the assembled military leadership in the Mars bunker. Lieutenant Reed not only survived the mission, but retrieved critical intelligence on Meridian fleet movements and communication protocols. On a large display behind him, footage from Alex's mission played, her ship dancing through Meridian defenses, systematically dismantling their fighters. The generals watched in stunned silence. The psychological impact cannot be overstated, Moore continued. Meridians are hive-minded. Individual deaths mean little to them. It's why our conventional warfare has been ineffective. But a human returning from death? That violates everything they understand about reality. In the back of the room, Alex sat quietly, still adjusting to her new existence. Next to her, Dr. Holt monitored her vitals through a tablet. How are you? Feeling? The doctor whispered. Different, Alex replied. I keep remembering the explosion, the heat, then darkness, then waking up again. Any dissociation? Feeling disconnected from your body? Alex flexed her hand. No, it feels like me, just more. At the front of the room, Moore was outlining the next phase. Project Phoenix is now moving to full production. We've selected 20 of our best soldiers who've fallen in combat. Within a month, we'll have our first Phoenix squad ready for deployment. A general raised her hand. What about the ethical considerations? We're essentially weaponizing resurrection. The ethical consideration is extinction, General, Moore replied coldly. The Meridians have killed 2 billion humans already. They don't negotiate. They don't take prisoners. If this technology gives us an edge, we use it. After the meeting, Moore approached Alex. How much did you really see inside their systems? Everything, she said. Their entire command structure centers around the Hive Queen. She's not just their leader, she's the foundation of their psychology. Without her, they fragment. Can we find her? Alex nodded. Better. I know how to kill her. Moore studied her face. You've changed, Lieutenant. Not just physically. Dying will do that to you, Alex replied without emotion. The Meridians think death is the end. They're about to learn otherwise. That night, as Alex lay in her quarters unable to sleep, another enhancement, she now required only 2 hours of rest per cycle. She stared at her reflection in the mirror. Physically, she looked identical to her old self. But behind her eyes was something new, a cold, calculating awareness that came from experiencing death and returning. The Meridians had no word for ghost in their language. They were about to learn that concept too. The Meridian Hive Queen was not a physical entity in the human sense. She existed as a biological quantum computer, her consciousness distributed across thousands of specialized drones that maintained the psychic link between all Meridians. Her central node orbited Saturn, hidden within its rings, a massive organic structure resembling a coral reef interwoven with technology. Here, the Queen processed the collective thoughts of her species, guiding the conquest of human worlds with cold efficiency. For the first time in her 15,000-year existence, the Queen felt something akin to concern. "Show me the human again," she commanded. The memory banks replayed the footage of Alex Reed's attack on the Jupiter outpost. The Queen studied the human's movements, her impossible survival, the unnatural precision of her actions. Analysis, she demanded. "Unknown resurrection technology," reported her chief scientist. "The humans have somehow preserved this individual's consciousness and restored it to a new or repaired body. Can this be replicated? Unknown. But the implications are troubling. Our psychological warfare strategy depends on humans fearing death." The Queen processed this. Meridian conquest had always followed the same pattern. Overwhelming displays of force, mass casualties, then psychological domination of the surviving population. It had worked on 17 species across 12 star systems, but humans were different. They feared death, yes, but they didn't allow that fear to control them. And now, if they had found a way to cheat death itself? "We must accelerate the timeline," the Queen decided. "Prepare the final assault on Mars. We will crush their remaining military force before this technology can be deployed at scale. And the resurrected human? Capture her intact. I want to understand how she exists." Across the solar system, the Meridian fleet began to move. Thousands of warships emerged from hiding places in the asteroid belt and Jupiter's Trojan points, all converging on Mars. They didn't detect the small stealth vessel tracking their movements, a prototype ship piloted by Alex Reed, who had anticipated exactly this response. "They took the bait," she subvocalized to her AI. "They're committing everything." Tactical analysis suggests 92% of Meridian forces are mobilizing, the AI confirmed. This exceeds predicted response parameters. Alex smiled coldly. "They're scared." She sent a tight beam transmission to Mars. "Phoenix actual to command. Queen confirmed at Saturn. Meridian fleet mobilizing for Mars assault. Proceeding to Phase 2. General Moore's response was immediate. "Understood. Phoenix squad is ready. Good hunting, Lieutenant." Alex's ship changed course, accelerating away from the gathering Meridian armada. While they focused on Mars, she headed towards Saturn, and the true target of Operation Phoenix. Behind her, 19 other stealth ships emerged from hiding, each piloted by a resurrected soldier. The Phoenix squad formed up in perfect formation, then vanished into the darkness of space. The Meridian assault on Mars began with overwhelming force. Thousands of warships darkened the Martian sky, their weapons turning the red planet's surface to glass wherever human settlements were detected. But something was wrong. "No resistance," reported a Meridian commander. "Human defense systems are minimal." Fleet Commander Rick studied the tactical display with growing unease. The humans were barely fighting back. Their orbital defenses had been token at best. Ground forces were scattered and disorganized. It's a trap, Rick suddenly realized. Where are their elite forces? Where are the resurrected ones? The answer came too late. Near Saturn, Alex Reed and the Phoenix Squad approached the Hive Queen's sanctuary. Their ships, incorporating stolen Meridian stealth technology, slipped through the defensive grid undetected. Remember, Alex transmitted to her squad. We only get one shot at this. The Queen hasn't encountered humans directly before. She won't understand what we're capable of. The 19 other resurrected soldiers acknowledged. Like Alex, they had all died fighting Meridians. Like her, they had returned enhanced and focused with a clarity that only death could provide. Their ships docked with the massive organic structure hidden in Saturn's rings. The Meridians had never conceived of a direct assault on the Queen. It was too deeply ingrained in their psychology as an impossibility. Their defenses were oriented outward, not inward. Alex stepped onto the Queen's sanctuary, feeling the soft pulse of organic technology beneath her feet. The air was thick with spores, the physical medium through which the Queen communicated with her drones. "I can feel her," whispered one of the Phoenix soldiers. "In my head. Trying to understand us." "She can't," Alex replied. "We're outside her experience, dead things walking." They encountered minimal resistance, only maintenance drones that were easily neutralized. The Meridians had committed their warriors to Mars, never imagining humans would discover their Queen's location, let alone attack it directly. At the center of the sanctuary, they found her. Not a creature, but a vast biological computer, pulsing with light and energy. Thousands of specialized drones moved across its surface, maintaining the psychic network that connected all Meridians. "Plant the charges," Alex ordered. "We have 7 minutes before they realize what's happening." As her squad placed EMP devices throughout the chamber, Alex approached the central node. Through her enhanced senses, she could detect the Queen attempting to scan her mind. "You're trying to understand me," Alex said aloud. "But you can't. You see death as final. An end. For humans, it's just another beginning." She placed the final charge directly on the central core. "You killed me once already. Big mistake." The Phoenix Squad retreated to their ships as the charges counted down. They were halfway back to Mars when the detonation occurred. Across the solar system, every Meridian simultaneously screamed. Their hive connection, maintained across thousands of years, shattered in an instant. Warships veered out of control. Warriors collapsed, their minds suddenly, terrifyingly individual for the first time. On the Martian surface, General Moore watched as the Meridian fleet fell into chaos. "Phoenix, actual. Confirm status." Alex's voice came through clearly. "The Queen is dead, returning to base." Moore smiled grimly. "Well done, Lieutenant. Welcome to the rest of your life." 1 year later, the solar system was quiet again. The Meridian forces, without their Queen, had fragmented into isolated groups. Some had fled back toward their home system. Others had surrendered, their hive minds shattered, individuals emerging from the collective for the first time in their species' history. On Earth, in a small apartment overlooking the reconstructed skyline of New Seattle, Alex Reed stood at the window, watching rain fall over the city. Her enhanced eyes could track individual droplets, seeing the fractured light within each one. A knock at the door interrupted her thoughts. It was Dr. Holt, carrying a small medical case. "Routine checkup," the doctor explained, though they both knew it was more than that. The Phoenix soldiers were still studied carefully. The long-term effects of resurrection and enhancement were unknown. "How are the dreams?" Holt asked, scanning Alex with a handheld device. "Still there," Alex admitted. "I see the explosion. I feel myself dying. Every night." "And the others?" "The same. We talk about it sometimes. The Phoenix Squad, comparing notes on what death feels like." Holt nodded, making notes. "And how are you adjusting to civilian life?" Alex gave a small, mirthless laugh. "Adjustment is ongoing. People look at us differently now. They call us heroes, but I see the fear in their eyes. We remind them of something they'd rather forget. That death isn't the end. That humans can be weapons in ways even we never imagined." Holt finished her scans and sat beside Alex. The Phoenix program has been officially discontinued. The technology is being repurposed for medical applications only. Good, Alex said firmly. No one should have to come back the way we did. Do you regret it? Alex considered this. No. We saved humanity. But we're something different now. Not quite human anymore. Later that night, Alex met with the other Phoenix soldiers at their regular gathering place. A quiet bar where the staff asked no questions and other patrons kept their distance. They sat together, these 20 men and women, who had died for humanity and returned to save it. They didn't need to speak much. They understood each other in ways no one else could. I got a message today, one of them finally said. From Meridian Space. Some of the individualized ones have established a colony on Titan. They're asking for teachers. People to help them understand how to live as individuals. Alex raised an eyebrow. Are you going? Thinking about it. What else am I going to do? We've already died once. Everything after that is bonus time. Around the table, the others nodded. They had completed their mission. Humanity was safe. But, for the Phoenix squad, the hardest part wasn't dying. It was figuring out how to live again. As they raised their glasses in their weekly toast, Alex felt a strange peace settle over her. The Meridians had feared them because they couldn't understand them, couldn't comprehend continuing beyond death. But in that continuation there was hope, not just for humanity, but perhaps even for their former enemies. To second chances, Alex said, lifting her glass. To second chances, the others echoed. Somewhere in Saturn's orbit, the first Meridians were learning to think as individuals, helped by human teachers. And across the stars, the story was already spreading to other species. Beware the humans. They don't fear death. They master it. The human girl had died fighting. She had returned. And the universe would never be the same.